some place it's just going to be the question of whose army's in position, whose army's not. And I think at the moment Bisu's got a slight advantage just because he doesn't have the speed shuttle, but that's not going to be too huge a factor. He does have additional gateways going up, and that is going to translate to more troops momentarily. Now getting a Citadel of Adun down in that back corner, hiding it a little bit away from the observers as much as possible, not wanting to tip Snow off to the tech switch. Get a couple zealots down to the ground. With the speed zealot supplemented army, Bisu should be in a great position. Really going heavy with the Reavers. He doesn't even have enough shuttles to really move the Reavers in position. It looks like an observer taking a couple hits, but sneaking by, wasn't quite in range, which is a little bit of a lapse there by Bisu. I don't think he spotted. I think he just assumed that it would get killed going across that area. And Snow now seeing that Nexus, which is going to trigger that aggression on his part. He's saying, okay, where there can't be enough troops to defend all of this. Now marching up that temple wall, but again, I think it might be a little bit late. And this could be risky because Bisu, even though he's running up, he might be able to take this Nexus out, but Bisu could march right down the center and go for a counterattack. It looks like he is, in fact, just going to back off with the troops he's got, try to use the Reavers, and come back through that Nexus. That observatory is a loss automatically. It looks like that Reaver in a forward position, a little bit exposed, taking a couple free hits there. Bisu moving into a fixed position. That Nexus and those pylons are going to provide a little bit of difficulty for Snow. Snow's going to have to micro all of his Dragoons in a very tight area versus Bisu, who doesn't really need to target. It looks like one Reaver taken out. Additional Reavers just doing a lot of Scarab damage, and the Scarab hits really taking a toll. This is a very tight area, so Bisu's Reaver is going to do a lot of spread damage, and both Reavers taken out. Snow completely losing that battle just because that Nexus, those pylons in the way, and you can see the look on his face. That's just a look of disappointment. That was his big opportunity, and Bisu really exploiting his lack of ability to kind of execute in that situation. He couldn't focus fire all of those Dragoons. He didn't have quite the micro or the multitasking to pull that off, and as a result, Bisu just leaving his Nexus there, not really losing anything, not except the pylon, and that's not going to make up the difference. Now the Nexus going a little bit late, and I think that's an unpowered Templar Archives. It doesn't make a difference, though. It's still being built, and he can still produce Dark Templar or High Templar should he choose. I think he's going to go for the High Templar option. And keep in mind the observatory is not up currently for Bisu, so he's going to be a little bit limited in that regard, but honestly, to capitalize on that, to really have a reaction to that, Snow would have really been having to play a huge metagame and would have to have a Templar Archives out of nowhere to produce Dark Templar and really split the field for Bisu. Looks like that shuttle running up, a couple counter Reavers in there, and looks like Snow, the advantage of micro here is in Snow's favor, but that's at least going to keep him off the probe line, so he's not able to get any probe kills. He did manage to get one hit, and it looks like Snow's actually going to try to sneak an expansion here at the 6 o'clock and take a third gas before Bisu can really push up on him. It looks like Bisu putting up, I think that was maybe a cannon right there. Bisu now wandering up, and there's no defense. There's that Citadel of Adun, and that's actually going to help protect these Reavers against troops pushing in that direction. It looks like Snow did not, in fact, react to it. Cannon down, probes killed, and Dark Templar now marching. And this is the stage of the game where Bisu's just in a great position. Speed shuttle running through. Looks like it was spotted. Snow going to make another run this top corner, knowing that Bisu shuttle's kind of out of position. It looks like that shuttle is going to come back around, somewhat vulnerable. Okay, it is there, and Snow's going to have to back off. And Snow, again, not wanting to engage in that trigger area. Instead, he's going to lead with his Reavers and try to do that quick splash damage, and that is going to be very effective. Bisu getting caught a little bit off guard by it. First shots going against the Reaver, the shuttle able to sneak it off. It looks like they're now going to drop onto the interior, but a couple Dragoons waiting, and the shuttle's picked off. Huge maneuver from Bisu, and Bisu has just taken a gigantic lead, an absolutely gigantic lead. Wandering Dark Templar in there for who knows what reason. Actually, I think that Dark Templar might be... Yeah, that Dark Templar is in fact... Okay, that is Snow's Dark Templar. Cannon already right there to fight it off, though. So it's not going to get that far. So Snow actually was on top of that. I take that back. So nice anticipation on his part. Looks like there's not a lot of cannon coverage to the north, but there is enough cannon coverage across at least that Nexus, and that main's almost completely done anyway. Bisu running in, he's going to be able to take out that cannon before he loses any Reaver, and it looks like he's going to be able to back off those two Templar. But it looks like that Dark Templar is, they are going to be able to do a bit of scouting here, going to take out that robotics facility, not a ton of coverage, but Bisu now running up the front door. No observer for Bisu here, so he's going to end up losing these Dragoons a bit carelessly, very uncharacteristic from Bisu. So Snow might be able to come back into this. he's at least going to be able to take a gateway down. And actually, Snow's in a pretty good position. He's got that 6 o'clock. That's mining for him. He hasn't taken his mineral only, so Bisu has had it for a longer period of time. Some High Templar being produced right now. Looks like the Dark Templar are now going to be taken out, but he's able to kill at least a robotics facility. And, oh, that's killer. Big Dark Templar army now pushing across the field, but it looks like Bisu's now able to produce some observers again, and I don't think that's going to be enough. That 6 o'clock location now being picked away at by Bisu's Dark Templar, and it doesn't look like enough troops are in position to stop them. So there goes that advantage as well. More troops just backing into Bisu's base. And let's see if those troops will be in time. It looks like they're going to run up the observers alongside 2 cannons to provide a little bit of latent detection. 2 observers being pushed a little too far forward, so it looks like they both got taken out. And that was a pretty sizable advantage for Snow, and just kind of losing it. Now he's just going to have to back off, again coming into a very small, very tight corner, which hasn't been successful for him in the past, and I don't think it's going to be successful now. Observer able to run in, it's going to spot, and that's really helpful against that Reaver and just kind of seeing where that Dragoon force is in that backfield. The Reaver just very exposed there in the front with just the 2 Dragoons to protect. It's in very large risk getting picked off. Looks like a shuttle going to scoop it up before it gets too far. The Dark Templar of Bisu's now wandering back into the main. Bisu actually going to take the 1 o'clock position, and now Bisu going after Snow's robotics facility, and Snow losing those 2 observers earlier could be in a bad position. Looks like he did have a spare observer close by, fortunately, and Bisu taking this distraction opportunity to run in, spreading the dark, and this is, man, Bisu's multitasking is insane. Able to sneak through. He loses his Dark Templar, able to take out the robotics facility, though, and now he's going to be able to do the same thing that Snow did, but I think he's going to be in a better economic position to do it. So, I guess I should have just assumed that Snow was probably going for the Templar Archives either way earlier, but still, if he had Dark Templar right that moment, that would have been amazing, because he could have used those, I think, a little bit more effectively. Timing this game, everything. Timing. And now the Speed Zealots in the mix here. They're melting fairly quickly, actually. Some nice micro there by Snow, able to get a little bit of damage, but he just doesn't have a large enough attack force. That Archon pushing that Reaver back away. Wow, picking off the shuttle with an Archon. And that Archon almost looked like it was sprinting. I wish I knew how to micro like that. And there's Snow GG's. That was the last of his attack force. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Bisu just showing why he's a fantastic player. Snow getting some good experience, though. I expect more of that guy. I think he had an okay strategy, just wasn't able to execute it all that effectively. And I don't think he made any major mistakes. He was just playing Bisu, of all people. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for listening. Moving on to set 3.